what you are going to do is to bring up a rectangle like this, give it any size that you want, and then I'm going to make it any color that I want, like so. And I will select the tab tool and write something like 1, and I'm going to give the width something like 200. This the font size 200. So I'll select these guys, the text and the shape, and then align like that. So I can also select again on Control G to group. So I'm going to duplicate this guy like this. Okay, so I will change the numbers here. So obviously this is going to be 2 and 3, and just try to align them again so that to look nice. So now I have something like this. All right, so the next thing is to change the colors. I'm going to take this, maybe I'll change it to something like green for instance. Okay, then this one I'm going to change it to something like I'm changing the color of the rectangles. So this one I'm going to change it to something like this. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is to select these guys, and then I'm going to press Shift A to add auto layout, and I'm going to make that the gap there to be 20. All right, so it's going to look nice. Then the next thing is I'm going to make one bigger than the rest. So like this this particular red, I'm going to make it taller like so. So it's going to look like, okay, the full detail is showing there, right? Then I'll select this guy, and I think I'm going to click here, and I will select both of them and align like this, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the rectangle and the text is what I just get aligned there. Then the next thing we are going to do is to, yeah, let me show you something. If I have a copy like this, we need to have a duplicate of all these items here. So what we'll do now is this. If you select this guy, you can see the width here is 169. So I'm going to bring out the text tool and write 619, sorry. So like when you select this guy now, you can see that the width is 619. So okay, then when you select this one, you can see that the width is 250. Okay, so I'm going to type 250 here, and we have it. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is to have like a duplicate of each of these letters there. So I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, then duplicate this on Control D, and duplicate this on Control D. Now you need to understand the way the flow works. Okay, this one we have to have a copy of this one when it's not expanded like this. So we are going to take this. You can see the small ones here are 250, right? That means this one is also have 250, and then you are going to organize the flow the way it's going to come in place. You have to make sure that it's perfectly aligned like that, so that it's going to look nice. Then the next thing is to rearrange the flow. So this is this, and then this one is the third, right? Then this one is second here as well, so third again. So it will start like this. Once it reaches here, it starts all over. Yeah, so that is the first we want to create. Then the next we are going to do is to select this guy. Okay, you can see we have auto layout now containing this group. All right, what we are going to do is to right click here, and then frame selection. When you frame selection, you can now resize this frame to hide the remaining copies apart from the ones we want to see at the moment. So I'm going to click on clip content so that those ones will be hidden. This frame that we just added, it's more like an artificial frame that contains the auto layout, right? So what you do, this one you are going to move them aside because this is the one you are using now. So in this area we are going to maybe first of all let's have a variant before we move it in. So we are going to convert this particular one to a component like this, and then add a variant. So we are going to basically have 4 variants. So I have 4 variants until it's up to 4. So what we are going to do now is this. In this place, this one gets bigger, but in this place, this one has to take over, and this one has to take over, and so on and so forth. So what you'll do now is to come here. You see that the small ones are 250, right? So that means this one is going to be 250 here, right? But this one is going to be 619, right? Yeah, 619. So I'll type 619. Yeah, but the idea here is that if you select, you have a frame that contains the auto layout. So if you select the auto layout, you have to now move the auto layout to take over this area. So you try as much as you can to make sure that they are aligned. If possible, you can bring up the ruler. If you don't have the ruler, you press Shift R to bring up the ruler, so you can be able to click on the ruler and then bring up a guide that will help you to align it like that, which is pretty cool. All right, so the next one is this area. So this one has to be 250 again, and this one has to be 619, right? Then you select the auto layout there and move this guy out like this, so it will now look like it's floating, right? Like it's switching space like that, which is what you're trying to do. Okay, then you can see that this one gets here and then it gets bigger. Another thing you have to be conscious about is this text here. You are going to make it maybe just you're going to make sure that they are aligned, so that the animation is going to look realistic, like look nice basically. So I'm select this and then I'll make sure it's aligned and align both of them like this, which is pretty cool. All right, then I think that is basically it. The next thing is to prototype. So we are going to prototype like this. On this one, switch to prototype and then prototype that once one after delay. Basically after delay, it's going to stay as much as you want, but now I want to make it 1000 milliseconds. Then the animation has to be smart animate, and then this guy is going to be custom bezier, and drag the bezier handles to look like this, and the duration has to be 1000. Yeah, so that the animation is going to play fine. Then the same animation on this side. Okay, so the good thing about this is that once you've done the first one, the second one has to take the full copy. So 1000 milliseconds, and press OK, and this one, the same thing, is going to be 1000 milliseconds like this. After delay, 1000 milliseconds. Okay, so but this one has to be different. Let's play this so that you understand what is going on here. So when I Control C and copy an instance of that component, so if I select this guy and preview like this, you can see the animation is playing nice, right? It's playing and playing now, but there's a problem. Yes, did you see what happens? Now the problem here is that it's moving backward, and when you move backward, it doesn't even continue. So watch, instead of it to play like that, you can see that is probably what you had in mind, right? But let me show you something. You see this, that in this place we have this dude here. We are going to make this one. Okay, you see, if I should like uncheck clipping and select this one, so, and uncheck clipping content, you can see this one did not move. This is the one that has to take that space that it is now, but we left it behind. That is why it did not continue the movement. So what we are supposed to do here is to double click and select the auto layout, and then make sure this one, you change this thing to 250, right? And take this one and make it 6 9 like this. Then we are going to select the auto layout and move this dude like this. Okay, so we have two clipping content in case if you are afraid or maybe you are confused. Okay, we added a frame that we can click to hide the content like this. So this is one of the reasons that made it to move backward. Okay, so but now I think we've corrected that, and I believe it's going to work well now. Okay, so if I launch the prototype like this, you can see it's looking nice. It's looking nice. All right, but now you can see it did not continue the movement. Okay, it just played and stopped like this. So we want you to continue the movement. What do we do? Okay, what you are going to do is this. If you take this guy here and then come here to the components, and you can see we have been able to prototype others, but this one we prototype and stop here, which the animation played and stop here, but we did not tell it what to do next when is done with this man. So when you get to this man, so we are going to prototype this particular frame and tell it to go back to this one after delay, but the settings is going to be different now. Watch, because I want you to look. What I'm going to do here is this: after delay, it should be as fast as possible, which is the least we can go is 1 millisecond, and the animation has to be instant. That is in 1 millisecond. I want you to switch to this guy. That is, once this animation changes to this, you after 1 millisecond change back to this one, right? So let's refresh and then see what is going on here. So you can see it played, and let's see if it's going to look. Wow, pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, so that is basically how you can be able to do something like that. Okay, so I think what I have done here is basically to use this man and then design. So what I can do is to create Ctrl X and then Ctrl Shift R to bring up a plugin like Unsplash. You'll be able to select this rectangle and add it a photo. For instance, it can be any photo. Let me use abstract for now. Add something like this. Perfect. So the next thing is to select this guy and add up the layout like this, and basically that's just it. You select this one and make it responsive. For your design to look nice, it must has to be responsive. Okay, you select this main auto layout and align to the bottom here, and then the padding here should be a little bit easier, so I'm going to make it 50. Yeah, so this is what I've done, because now if you resize this one, you can see it changes like this. All right, duplicate this one like this, and I'm going to make this one small like this. I'll duplicate this one again. Okay, so basically I will change the images from here. Okay, well, the image doesn't look nice because of the brightness, so I'm going to add another fill that will darken the image like that, so that it's going to look a little bit okay. So I'll increase this guy, just add features like this and style it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to darken it, yeah, just to add it more fill, increase the opacity of the fill to something like 30, so that the text will be visible enough. I think this one deserves more. Okay, so what you have to do is to make sure this one has the same width as the other one. So I'm going to make this one 300, and this one has to be 300, the width. Okay, 300 like this. Then select all of them and then press Shift L to add auto layout. Then the gap is something like 20. Okay, it must not be 20, but oh, you can see these guys are clashing now. So what you can also do is to increase the size a little bit. That is the size of the width. So I'm going to select them. Instead of 300, I'll make them 350. 350. So there will be a little bit of gap between this the order, the call to action button, and then the price. So I think that is the way you can be able to do it. The next thing is for you to have a copy of the three. So you select them individually like this, and you select, I think, this, yeah, this one. How many stuff do you have here? Have a lot of things going on here. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to do is to select this guy and this one and this one. You press Ctrl D to duplicate and move them like this. So then take this one and make it 300, sorry, 350, because that is the height of others. Okay, so now we have something like this. The next one is to right click and frame the selection. Okay, so once you frame the selection, you'll be able to resize it to show the side that you want, like this. Now once you click content, basically that is just it. You add make it a component and then add a variant, make it up to 4 variants, because that's the height you're using, and take this and make it I think 619, and select the auto layout containing the 3 and move like this. Align it very well, make sure everything fits perfectly like this. Then you prototype again, that when there is a click on this area after the layer, no click, sorry, after the layer, smart animate, and this is the settings we are going to be using. Copy the settings, please. So in this area, we're going to take it back to the beginning and then prototype that after delay is going to be 1 millisecond, right? And the animation here is going to be instant, immediately. Okay, and then that is basically it. The key note here is that your element, for you to look so cool, your element here has to be responsive like this. Okay, it has to be responsive. And if you look at the auto layer that I've given it, this one is an auto layer that is is on fill, and inside the fill you see the text is also on fill, and the text is also on fill. Okay, so and this one is also on fill. Then the gap here is auto, so that it automatically adjusts to the size of the auto layout holding the call to action button and the pricing. Okay, so that is how you can be able to do something like that. Okay, so let's preview this one again. You Ctrl C, or you go to the asset panel, use and then drag the instance out like that. I think this is the one I use. So, or maybe the one I like using is to just to copy the instance from here and then use it. Okay, so if you preview it again, I believe it's going to look nice now. So this is what we have. If I refresh, you see now I have something like this. Okay, they are all moving at the same time because they are using the same timing. That is how you can make an infinite responsive slide animation. If the tutorial is helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe. You can also share to friends and family. So till next time, take care and bye.